Hi, it's Giedra, and this time I'm going to talk about the books that I haven't finished reading. They will be the books that I started reading over the last couple of years, and for one reason or the other, I just put them down and never picked them up again. And it's not because they're bad books or that I wasn't enjoying them, it's just because I probably got distracted with other books, or maybe it wasn't the best time, or I wasn't in the right mood to read them. So I really want to read them all, and I want to pick them up again, and I want to finish them, not only because they've been on my Goodreads profile as currently reading for probably about 2 years now, but because they're good books and they need reading. So I think I have 8 or 9 of them here, so I'll quickly run through them and let me know if you've read them. Let me know if you think I should finish one or the other first before the others, and what are your thoughts on these books, and maybe you found it easier to read them once you got through like first half or something. Just let me know what you think of them. So the first book is by Tom Wolfe, and it's The Bonfire of the Vanities. I started it last year and I loved it. I enjoyed reading it, and I've read about a quarter, third way through it, and then I just put it down because I thought there were too many characters getting introduced and I was getting a bit confused, and as soon as one character or one storyline captured my attention, the story seemed to have jumped to somebody else and the whole new story was developing, and then it moved on to somebody else. So I found it quite irritating, although I did enjoy all the stories and I know they kind of intertwine and they are connected, but I just got a bit annoyed and put it down. And it's not the smallest of books, it's about 720 pages. With this font is not tiny, but it's quite small, but it is an enjoyable book. It's just I found it quite difficult to follow all the stories and remember all the characters, and not being able to concentrate on one story. I mean, on page 183 where I left it, I think there were 4 or 5 different characters and their stories introduced by then, so I just couldn't concentrate on it. But when I was reading it, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the writing style and I thought it was phenomenal, but again, I put it down and I never wanted to pick it up again. So I do want to pick it up, but you know what I mean. It's just I don't feel the urge to try and remind myself of all the characters already covered in the book and thinking how many goddamn characters there will be, you know, in the other 400 pages. But yeah, I really want to read it. I just need to get stuck into it and, just get through it and get used to the writing style again. Another book that I've been reading for quite a while is Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman. And basically, excuse me, and basically it's about how media shapes our lives, how throughout the history of humankind people's perception changed on what's truth and who to believe, and how they learned about things, and how politicians, how political campaigns developed before the newspapers, before the radio, before television, and the what people thought was just, and how the advertising came into everything. So it's a really good book. It's not the easiest of reads, but it's not too difficult, and I enjoy while I read it. But then once I put it down, I never seem to be picking it up again. I'm nearly halfway through it, and it's only a tiny book, so I want to finish it. But again, I need to be in the mood for it. Now, another book that I picked up quite recently in HMV, it was only £2.99 as you can see, is Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg. And the book had really good reviews, and I thought I will enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. It's like food for the soul kind of book. It's really nice to read. There's not too much happening, but it's just nice and kind book, and it takes you back in the olden days where life was simpler, and it's nice. But I don't seem to have patience to just read through it. I pick it up, read a couple of chapters or a couple of pages. Well, the chapters are pretty much 2 or 3 pages anyway. 2 or 3 pages long, and then I put it down again and I want to finish it, but there are always other books that I think are more exciting and more, you know, captivating than this one. And I will finish it, but again, I just need to be in the mood for it. The next book that I've been reading through and abandoning it for the last year or so is by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and it's Of Love and Other Demons. It's this is a Lithuanian edition, so don't worry if you can't understand what it says. But again, it's one of those books that I always wanted to read because it seems to be on, you know, all of the list of the books that everybody should read, or the authors that every person should read at some point in their lives. And I I do enjoy the writing style, but I think at the point when I started reading it, there was a bit too much of magical realism for my liking. And I kind of again just thought, it's just too much. This is not what I need at the moment, and I put it down. And I want to finish it because it's a good book and it's an enjoyable story and it's really different. But again, I just need some more patience, and you know, I need to pick it up and read through it again. Now, the next book is one that I've always wanted to read, and I keep thinking I really need to pick it up. I really, really need to read it. And it's by Mikhail Bulgakov. It's Master and Margarita, and it's quite a funky edition. This particular book is in Russian. And maybe that's why I started reading it about 4 years ago. I read about 70 pages and left it there. So I think at that point it was quite difficult because I was reading in a foreign language, which I don't really read that many books in Russian. So it takes a while to get into it. And the main story is brilliant. But if you've read it before, you'll know that the story kind of jumps back into other stories and the history of Jesus Christ and all that. And it kind of, you have to persevere and you have to keep your attention, you know, and I must have had a short attention span, and I just gave up at some point. So I really want to read it because I know it's an amazing book and I must read it, and I think everybody should read it, but I just need to start reading it again. I think I need to start from the start, remind myself of what's happening, and just get through the chapters that I find quite difficult, and I'm sure I will love it. Now, John Irving is one of my favourite writers, but this book, The Water Method Man, God, I've started reading it 3 times. It must be 3 or 4 times, and every time I read through up to page 75 and I just leave it. And I don't know why. I do enjoy his writing style, I do like the story, but I don't know. I just always put it down and never pick it up again. Or when I do, I start from the beginning and then abandon it again. Not sure what the problem is. Now, last 2 books. Umberto Eco. He's one of my favourite writers, and Four Calls Pendulum was probably one of the best books I have ever read. However, this book, again, it's in Lithuanian, this one. It's The Secret Flame of Queen Loana, I think it will be in English. So anyway, this book, it's quite different from the others because it's full of old Italian adverts and book covers and pictures from newspapers and magazines. I'm just trying to find some. And it's about this man remembering how he was growing up during the war, and Benito Mussolini and his campaigns, and basically he goes to his family home in the country and he rediscovers all the books from his childhood and all the magazines and everything, and he remembers how everything was. But for my liking, again, there's too much, you know, he's talking too much about these old books, and I know I normally enjoy it, but sometimes you just want the story to move on a bit, and you know, to stop lingering on something for so long. So again, I want to read it because I'm nearly about 60% through the book, but I just can't make myself. And I know I will enjoy it, it's just I kind of got bored. And the last book, which again is amazing, but there was too much of a good thing, is Salman Rushdie, Midnight's Children. And when I started reading it, I remember telling my friend that this book is one of the most beautiful books you'll read. The language is so amazing. You read it and you kind of, it even tastes nice in your mouth. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's just so, so nice. But I think there was too much of a good thing, and at some point I just thought, I can't follow the story anymore. There were too many characters introduced, and the story was jumping from one thing to another, and again, I gave up. As much as I enjoyed it, I just gave up, and I want to pick it up again, and I want to finish it because it's beautiful, and I enjoyed reading it, but again, it's just a bit slow paced at some bits, and I just wanted something else, so I left it, and now I'm thinking, do I start from the beginning so I remember who the characters are, or do I carry on? So yeah, at some point I'll be picking it up again, and I will read it, but at the moment I'm ignoring whether I should just carry on from where I left it, or whether I should start from the beginning. But by all means, it's a beautiful book, and I enjoyed it. So, let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And if you have any books that you just kind of abandoned, and not because you didn't enjoy them, but because maybe it was the wrong time to read them when you did, let me know. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.